네, 안녕하세요. 한국해양산개발원 최지연입니다.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jiyeon Choi from the KMI. And thank you very much for having me as the first presenter in the Busan City session. So I'll start my presentation right away. So the title of my presentation is Global Ocean Agora, our Ocean Conference. And we have been holding a lot of conferences regarding ocean, but sometimes I stop and think to myself, why are we holding this conference? So we have some issues, human-related issues, and we are capable of talking it over and coming up with solutions. So it's not just one individual activity, but activity shared by humanity, creating all these talks and discourse as part of looking for solutions. So our Ocean Conference is a platform where we come up with all the solutions and initiatives through dialogues and discourse. And this is a way of proving that Busan is strengthening itself, strengthening its identity as a marine city or global marine city. So what do we talk about and why do we talk about it? So as a marine city or global city, Busan has always to seek to contribute to the global issues. The world is going beyond its territory, the national territory. You see the increases in number of world immigration and world port cargo, because you can see 10 times increase in both cases in cargo volume, and world trade volume is also increasing very fast. You see 5 times increase in just 30 years. So the world is becoming one big community, and no single country can be sufficiently self-sufficient. So they have to join hands together, and it's a matter of survival. That is the trend. So this is the global trend. But ocean is the foundation that unites the world. There's no border in ocean. There's no Republic of Korean fish. There's no the American fish. So there's no border, and pollution knows no border either. All the countries are connected. They're dependent on one another. So any issue or problem arises in this one community, then it's everybody's responsibility. So climate crisis, energy, food shortage, poverty, war, pollution. So any one of the issues can arise or happen in the ocean, but it will affect the whole humanity, the whole world. And if you look at the graph on the right side, you see the number of population living in coastal areas. So in the number of people living in the coastal area that lives within the perimeter of 100 meters is 2.15 billion. And it was only 100 million in 1990s, but it increased very rapidly recently. So people are populating in coastal areas, but they are exposing themselves to more risks in a way. So that only proves the need for cooperation among the countries. So the world is becoming one. World is a community So no single country can solve all these problems. And of course, we have been discussing this since 1970s. But problems in the ocean are unique, more unique in a way that we all share the consensus that the crisis of the Earth is the crisis of the humanity. And in 1972, there was a Stockholm meeting for human environment, and it was meaningful because the UNEP, UN Environment Program, was born out of this meeting. And at the meeting, some of the issues discussed were about the ocean, and they realized that the issues of the ocean are the issues of the humanity. They could see it more clearly. So they came to realization that humanity is working harder to protect the ocean. And they started to develop measures to protect the ocean and protect the earth. So in 2015, the Sustainable Development Goals were finally born, this grand discourse of the humanity. So how to reach the goals. So we discussed ways to reach these goals by setting up some sub-targets and other measures. So there are 17 goals, and number 14 is life below water. And this goal is wholly dedicated to the ocean. So the expansion of the ocean and the land management and sustainable fishing are all under this category. So far, it is admitted that we only looked at these issues from the environmental perspective. But the ocean issues are not just environmental, because they're closely related to economic issues, and also they're related to peace and other geopolitical issues. Because we went through globalization, but we saw the instability in economy and politics. So all this instability, geopolitical and economic instability, do impact the ocean issues. So worldwide, it is expected that the ocean economy is gonna create $15.5 trillion of net benefits by 2050. So you see a lot of projects, potential projects, like decarbonization or blue food system or conservation. So we are talking about a lot of economy projects, but with the growing risks that can endanger our food security and our survival, for that matter, these projects will not be meaningful or even feasible. So people are saying that the risks are shifting towards the ocean. So Indo-Pacific strategy is being built right now, and that is to come up with ways to improve the economic situation or mitigate the risks. So this all proves how the ocean issues are being the agenda of the global discourse. So we talked about globalization and global governance restructuring, and we're seeing more and more uncertainty, and we're also seeing the emergence of neo-nationalism. So what is the right governance, ocean governance? It's not just about the mix of consideration for health, inclusion, peace, prosperity, but we need to give appropriate share to all these important issues. And how to form the right type of ocean governance is an important issue. And any country or region that is able to lead this initiative or lead this dialogue will have a huge impact in the future. So there are several issues related to oceans. Some are economy, ecosystem, IUU, safety, security, economy, poverty, gender, and governance that is going loose. So all these are relevant issues. So all these issues must be discussed and must be woven into this proper type of ocean governance. And I think we're holding this ocean conference to come up with the right type of governance. So this AGRA, ocean AGRA, isn't to be led by just one country. It should be formed through discussion and consensus, and it should include health, peace, prosperity, and issue of inclusion. That is important to all the humanity. So our ocean conference should come up with this type of governance, and we should be able to have ample discussions regarding these issues at our ocean conference. So it's an annual conference, and this conference is not just for anyone. We're open to anyone, but this conference invites the experts with authority in these issues. And it's a really comprehensive in nature. And I believe this is probably the only type of conference that encompasses this whole issue in terms of scope. So discussions and discourse is being created in this conference, and it can be expanded into wider discussions globally. And it also serves as a momentum for wider solutions. And you see here a voluntary commitment. So voluntary commitments are where leaders participating in this conference make commitments with a detailed plan, how they are going to contribute to these issues and the consensus that we come up with. So I believe, based on my experience, our ocean conference is very practical. It's very implementation-based. So voluntary commitments are not just the combination of words. It should lead to budget allocation and also some practical cases where each country can contribute to equal opportunity to all the countries, so they can share their experiences, they can share their cases with other countries. So we also hold this conference in 2025. It will be held at Bexco, Busan. So our ocean, our action is the agenda for the 2025 conference. And it says our ocean, not oceans, because we have one ocean shared among us. And in 2025 conference, we will call for more smart, concrete, and intuitive action for a sustainable ocean. And we will have 7 sessions. So with 6 issues already fixed, plus 1 issue that is set by the Korean government. So pollution and security and blue economy, well, they're the common themes. We talk about this every year, but this digital ocean is the new topic that we added. So we'll come up with some actions, of course. So these actions must be smart, concrete, and intuitive. And Steve Jobs once said, only humans have an ability of intuition. We are capable of intuitive thinking. So we can come up with consensus or some actions that we all commit ourselves to. So actions are not just physical action, but more like a combination of scientific approaches. And that's why we added this digital ocean session, because we also wanted to focus on science and technologies and digital and AI as part of solutions. And this also reflects more practical approach. And at 2025 conference, we'll specifically talk about 30 by 30 initiative. And for pollution, we'll focus on plastic waste. And for climate crisis, we will talk about carbon negative in the decarbonization issue. And for blue economy, we'll focus on innovative economy ecosystem. And for security, we'll focus on order, ocean order, and geopolitical issues. And in sustainable fisheries, we'll focus on coexistence of fishing communities and fisheries resources. And lastly, in the digital ocean, we'll talk about some digital solutions that can take advantage of all these 6 solutions that we came up with at the conference. So we'll focus on more solid and practical solutions. So commitments are not just words. We will also think about ways to realize those words. And in the circle, you see agora. It means catalyzing ocean discourse. So I used a circle because I wanted to focus on the idea of encompassing and mixing all these ideas to create this grand discourse. So I believe the 2025 conference will be really fruitful. And it will be held from April 28th to 30th. And I really hope that our ocean conference will serve again as an opportunity to make our lives better and make our ocean cleaner. Thank you.